Hello, I'm the Sauceress for saucerecipes.tv, and today I'm making my lunch, which is going to be one of my favourite pasta dishes, fettuccine al pesto. Now pesto literally means pounded, and that's why I'm going to use a pestle and mortar for the mixing of the ingredients rather than the blender or anything else. Now my ingredients are very simple. I have beautiful fresh basil leaves here. I have some lovely organic garlic, which I'm going to show you how to skin in a minute. I have pine nuts. Now a lot of people toast their pine nuts, but I prefer not to. That's a matter of personal taste, of course. And there are two cheeses, pecorino, which is this one, and Parmigiano Reggiano, which is what you and I often think of as Parmesan. Now the Parmigiano is the classic Parmesan cheese. Try if you can to get it in a block, cut from the wheel. In fact, a genuine Italian Parmesan cheese will actually have the word Parmigiano written on the rind, so you can tell that it's passed all the quality requirements for that particular cheese. The other cheese I'm using is pecorino, which is made from sheep's milk in Italy. And it's another hard cheese like the Parmesan, but it is a different texture, a different flavour. And as you see, when it's grated, it's a slightly different colour. It's whiter than the Parmesan cheese. So apart from a bit of salt and pepper and some extra virgin olive oil, that's all my ingredients. So I'm going to start with the garlic. I've just one clove here because I'm making a small quantity. And what I'm doing is simply getting the flat of my knife and the flat of my hand, or the heel of my hand, and I'm just going to go like that. And you can see that the garlic is now out of its skin, and I just peel a little bit of skin away. And there's my skin-free garlic. I'm going to add a tiny bit of salt with that, because that helps the garlic to crush in just under my knife. I'll get that out of the way so you can see that. And that just starts the garlic off to be ground in my pestle and mortar. Now I'm going to use a damp kitchen sponge here and put it under my pestle and mortar, because that helps to keep the pestle steady. It stops it sliding all over my bench top. Now, pounding does not mean this in a pestle and mortar. It means crushing the ingredients around the sides of the bowl. Now, I have my basil leaves here. I've already washed them in my salad spinner. You can see how much water that took out. And I'm just going to put them in my pestle and mortar and continue to grind them up for a while. One thing that you might be tempted to do is to put the leaves in the blender or the food processor and chop them up that way, or with a knife. And I really recommend, if you can, that you resist the temptation to do that. It damages the leaves, the cutting action, it makes them go black, and you'll find that you get a much more pronounced flavour and a lovely bright green colour if you do the crushing by hand in the pestle and mortar. I'm going to do this for a little while now, and I'll be right back. Now I've been pounding this for about 3 or 4 minutes, and I don't know if you can see that, but you can see how the leaves, and I've been adding a little bit of the cheese and a few of the pine nuts as we go, and you can see how they're merging together and becoming a nice, almost a creamy texture. So I'm just going to finish off with a little bit more of the cheese. I'll put both cheeses in at this point, and I'll add most of my pine nuts, and I'm just going to pound that for a little bit more, crush that rather, for a little bit more, and I'll be back in a moment. Well, now I have finished creaming together the nuts, the two cheeses, the basil, the garlic, and my last ingredient is this organic extra virgin olive oil, which I buy from my local delicatessen in bulk and have them fill these rather nice bottles. So I need to add this fairly slowly because you don't want to overwhelm the mixture. You want it to be able to absorb it and then come back for the next bit. So I'm just going to add about a tablespoon there, and I'm going to continue to mix that with my pestle and mortar. Let me give you a look inside at the moment. It's slipping out of my hand. As you see, it's a lovely bright green colour, and the ingredients are still recognisable. They're not so mushed that you can't tell which is which gives it a lovely texture. Now, it's really your choice how much oil you add to this sauce. If you want a really thick sauce, you probably would add less oil. I like it so that it can be mixed nicely with my hot pasta. And I think I'm just about getting it to the right consistency now. Let me just have a look at that. Yes, I think that will be fine. So I shall now get my pasta out and dress my dish. Now I have my noodles here, and I'm not tipping them into a colander. I'm taking them out of the water, and I'm going to, spin them into my bowl without the turntable on this occasion, just so that you can see how it makes a nice presentation. Now I'm a fan of putting the pesto sauce on top of the noodles. Some people like to toss them. That of course is your choice. Oh, that didn't work terribly well. But you do need just a little bit of the cooking water to go with the pasta. So I'm now, with my spatula, it's there. I'm now going to simply take the makings of the sauce and put it over my noodles. As you see, it's that gorgeous light green colour, and I'm allowing the sauce itself to merge in with the noodles. Using its own water and its own heat to distribute the sauce around the plate of pasta. So there you have it. That looks like a wonderful lunch for me. Fettuccine with pesto sauce made in the classic Ligurian fashion with basil. Now, there are plenty of variations of this dish. There are some with sun-dried tomatoes or semi-dried tomatoes. Other people make it with different greens, with perhaps rocket or arugula. Sometimes just with parsley, and sometimes with other vegetables like broccoli. It's really up to you, but the classic Northern Italian version of this sauce is just as I've made it here. I'm the Sauceress for saucerecipes.tv, where you can get the recipe. Bye for now.